right, good afternoon, Kipsters. Today we're going to be looking at working with volume, like day 2, in a second way. And so we're still going to only be looking at the volume of rectangular prisms. So as a review, this is a rectangular prism, this is a rectangular prism. Okay, 2 rectangular bases connected by 4 rectangles. Okay, rectangles, because they have 3 dimensions, you can fill them. Okay, so remember we talked about, like, if you're going to fill this water bottle, you're going to pour water in, water is going to cover the base, and then it's going to start to go up the top. So you would find the area of the base, and you would then multiply by the height. Okay, because of that, we remember that the formula, and this is on your formula chart, there's nothing that you need to memorize. The formula for the volume of any prism is big B times H, where big B is the base of the area. Okay, so big B is the area. In a rectangular prism, it's obviously going to be length times width. Okay, so this is what we looked at yesterday. Today we're working backwards. So this says a prism has a length of 7 inches and a width of 4. If the prism can hold 364 cubic inches of material, how tall is the prism? So I know it's a prism, okay? The length is 7, the width is 4. 364 cubic inches is the volume. So it's important to know that this is the volume, whereas this is the length and this is the width, okay? And then it's asking how tall is it. So I'm going to start by labeling this picture over here that Miss Ogden gave me because she's awesome. Okay, I'm going to label this length of 7, and I'm going to label this width of 4. Oops, I don't want to say width, I want to say 4, my bad. So if this is 7 and this is 4, okay, well, if this is 7, then right up here this is also 7 because it's a rectangle. And if this length right here is 4, then this length right here is also 4. Okay. I know the volume, and it's asking how tall is it. So the question is, like, how big is this? Well, I'm going to go through and I'm going to fill in the parts of my formula that I know. 364 is the volume, so this would say 364 is my base, my area of my base times my height. Now, in order to find the area of the base and the height, I'm going to go back over here. When we find the volume, we can pick any base that we want. Okay, so you could use this front base facing me, I could use this top, or I could use this side. Because it was labeled, I'm going to use this as the base because it's the side that I have the dimensions to. So when I go over here, I'm going to say that my base is 7 and my height is 4. Well, 7 times 4 is 28. So now I know that my big B over here is 28. So this is 364 equals big B. I'm going to take out a big B and I'm going to plug in 28 because I just solved for that. 28 times the height, which I still don't know the height. This is what I'm trying to find. How tall is the prism? So 28 times some number is 364. Then 364 divided by 28 will give me that height. Okay. If you need a review of that, I'll come over here. If you know this, you can just do the math. I would encourage you to pause it and try this on your own. 364 divided by 28. Okay. 28 goes into 36 one time, which is 28. When I subtract, I got to borrow from the 6. This is 16 minus 8 is 8. 2 minus 2 is 0. I'm going to go ahead and bring down the 4. Okay, 28 goes into 84 3 times. Okay, 8 times 3 is 8. 3 times 8, excuse me, is 24. Carry the 2. 3 times 2 is 6. Carry the 2 is 8. So I would say that my height is 13. It's not square inches because it's not an area. It's not cubic inches because it's not volume. It's just 13 inches. Okay? Go ahead and pause it if you need to. Otherwise, we're going to clear it and move on to number 2. Number 2 says the bottom of a desk is 12 inches by 14 inches. If it can hold 1,008 cubic inches of paper, how tall is it? So the bottom of a desk I know is a rectangle. 12 by 4 is going to be my length, or my base, excuse me, and my height. Notice it's my little b, not my big B. If it can hold cubic inches, I know that's the volume. And then it's asking for how tall it is. So it says it is 12 inches by 14 inches. It's really important to notice here that the picture is super off, but I have to trust the numbers. Okay, my volume, the formula I get from my formula chart is big B times my height, where big B is the area of my base. The area of the base here is a rectangle. Okay, again, if this is 12, then this is 12. If this is 14, then this is 14. So I'm finding the area of this side right here. It's the same on the bottom, okay? Which is a 12 by 14 rectangle, okay? When I multiply 12 by 14, just checking my math, I get 168. So the area of this base is 168 square inches. The question I need to ask is, how many times am I going to stack that on itself to get to the 1,008? So now I'm going to plug in 1,008 is equal to the area of my base, which is 168, times some height to make it this big, to make it 1,008 cubic inches. So I'm going to do 1,008 divided by 168. 1,008, divided by 168. Now I know the math looks a little nasty, but it's actually quite doable. I would just come over here and keep testing. 6 times 8 is 48. 6 times 6 is 36, plus the 4 is 40. 6 times 1 is 6, plus the 4 is the 10. So it's going to go evenly. Sorry, that's a 10, not a 6. It's going to go evenly. So 1,008 divided by 168 is going to give me 6. So my answer is 6 inches tall.